Chapter 35, Goddess of the Witches. Diana Artemis, goddess of the witches, was the great goddess of the legendary Amazons, the wise women and the wise warriors of the ancient Thrace, Macedonia, north and west coast of Africa, Libya. She was the queen of heaven, the pure huntress of the moon, and the protectress of wild animals. She was a lesbian, scornful of men, and her followers were young women. No man could enter her temple. As the moon, she rides the clouds, very cool, untouched by man, filling the nights with psychic brilliance. But she was also Asiatic Artemis, the orgiastic and many-breasted mother of all. In this form, she was honored at the temple of Artemis at Euphieus, built by Amazons and considered one of the wonders of the ancient world. And after this temple was destroyed by fire, Amazons built it up again. In her third form, she was Hecate, dark goddess of the night, giver of plagues and sudden death. Hecate worshipped at midnight at the crossroads. All of these paradoxical aspects were hers, as the moon has changing faces. Diana, the virgin huntress, untouched by men, was also the goddess of childbirth. Legendarily, Diana was born of her mother without pain, and she taught women the techniques of painless childbirth. She was a midwife. Her cult had major Bronze Age centers throughout the Mediterranean, at Marseille, Syracuse, and Euphieus. Her temple at Euphieus was built by Amazons circa 900 BC. After destruction by fire, it was rebuilt by another generation of women warriors. This temple was in the beehive shape, and at this beehive temple, Dianic rites were conducted by Melisal priestesses, worker bees, and self-castrated Essene priests, drones. Here was the famous image of Black Diana. A small shrine on her head, a diopet, contained a magic stone, possibly a very old Neolithic implement. This statue was smashed to pieces in 400 by a Christian who boasted that he had finally torn down the demon Diana. In Rome, Diana was the protectress of the plebeians, and in particular, the guardian of slaves, outlaws, and thieves. Her temple stood in their city quarters, the Aventine. Roman slaves celebrated Diana's festival in mid-August, which also the sacred festival day of Hecate and the Irish triple goddess Brigid. To the Christians, Diana, the moon, was the devil incarnate. Ninth century church fathers in Europe condemned the deluded women who believed in the dead of night they ride upon certain beasts with Diana, or the witch queen Herodias, and fly through the sky among multitudes of women. Long into the Renaissance, she was imagined as a terrible demon. Christians sometimes called the devil Lucifer. Lucifer, the light bringer, was in early legend Diana's twin brother, the morning star. The morning star, also the evening star, is Venus, which, along with the moon, was observed with very accurate calculations by ancient astronomers worldwide. To the Aztecs, it was Quetzalcoatl. To the Mayans, Kukulkan. To the Sumerians and Babylonians, it was Inanna Ishtar. Whenever the Christians encountered astrological observations and texts on Venus and the moon, they saw only devil worship. Hence, they destroyed library after library containing ancient wisdom and knowledge, including the Mayan astronomical library at Mani, as well as the Library of Alexandria. Mayan astronomical knowledge was probably the most advanced in the ancient world. They invented the zero long before the Arabs did. In 1552, the Spanish friar Diego de Landa, confronting all these texts containing Mayan intellectual brilliance, as well as spiritual data, stated that they contained nothing in which there was not to be seen superstitions and lies of the devil, and so we burned them all. Early Christian smashing of Dianic cults in the Mediterranean, as well as later church persecutions of witches in Europe, must be seen in this global context. Wherever Christians saw knowledge, herbal, medical, astronomical, symbolical, they saw demonism and moved to destroy it. The witch persecutions were not simply aimed at devil worshippers, but at ancient human knowledge of the world. Another group of Amazons and witch women was centered around what is now Morocco and northern Africa. They were called the moon huntress goddess Anatha, a name that related to the Egyptian goddess Neith, the Greek Athene. The Amazon tribes in this area were called the Gorgons. One of their queens was named Medusa, and their warrior goddess Anatha wore the original legendary Aegis, a goatskin chastity tunic, along with a Gorgon mask and leather pouch containing a sacred serpent. Probably all the Amazons, moon women, wore these magic belts, and any man who removed one without the wearer's consent could be killed. The Greek legends of heroes slaying the Gorgon and the snake-haired Medusa could derive from actual battles fought by patriarchal Greek soldiers against these women's cultures. Just as Greek males fought Macedonian Amazons on the Greek homeland. The Gorgon is a very moon-faced woman with her tongue sticking out. Even though the later Athene became the goddess of the Greek patriarchal state, and in Greek drama was portrayed as siding with the new father right against the ancient mother goddess religion. Still, she always in her statues carried the Aegis, with the Gorgon's head on it with her shield. Northwest African warrior women wearing the magic belt with the pouch suspended on it, containing a sacred serpent, sounds very close to the Dahomean goddess, the black witch Mawulisa, who is bisexual and carried a snake in her belly, and to corroborate the legends that ancient matriarchal Africans sailed to Central America. Frank Waters in Mexico Mystique mentions this interesting information. In the Mayan Temple of the Sun at Palenque is a carved tablet that identified Pythagoreans at the Aegis of Zeus, who stole it from the Athene. The Aegis shows the Gorgon head with tassels that Homer described as Athene's shield, and it is backed by the carved numeral 77, the magic number of the Egyptian goddess Neith. The original witch was undoubtedly black, bisexual, a warrior, a wise and strong woman, also a midwife, and also a leader of her tribe, the many faces of the moon. The nature of the goddess was in no way the pale, meek, mild, and solely maternal one that has been associated with the femininity of the patriarchal culture. The goddess of unrestrained sexual love, Astarte Ishtar, and Ashtoreth Cybele, was also associated with war and death, with natural magic and primal wildness. She was also a mother and a helper of women in childbirth. Under the Greco-Roman and Hebrew Christian patriarchy in the West, these many aspects were separated out into the good woman stereotype of the Virgin Mary versus the bad woman Eve. She was the love goddess or the good mother or the hag of death or the virgin huntress, but never again all. It can be hard for us to remember that the original goddess was not a fixed dualism, but a revolving triplicity. She, of the moon, changes. Whether she is seen as the benevolent mother of all living, or the goddess of bloody battle, or the death goddess, or the prophetic witch, the attitude towards life in matriarchal society remains the same. All life is created out of the mother and is one with her. Therefore, no life can be taken without her permission. All lifeblood belongs to her and must be returned to the earth sacredly. And so, if life can only be taken in the form of ritual individual sacrifice, this is how and why ritual sacrifice could occur among people who were not bloody savages. They could not kill either at a logically rationalized distance by machine. Ritual death happened up close by a living, bloody, and responsible hand. When the biblical Hebrews opposed ritual human sacrifice, they were on the right evolutionary track. Human beings needed to go beyond that. But to replace ritual, individual sacrifice with a mass random slaughter by mechanized weaponry in the ideological name of holy war and modern political war was no advance. At least the ancient ritualists knew what they were doing and took full responsibility for each kill. Every human being is born from a woman. And so, in a society ruled by the council of older women, meeting at night in the moonlight after a day's work is done, it was not possible to see human beings in terms of statistics and ideological units, as so much raw material to be used and manipulated, as is the case in patriarchal societies. Sacrifice was voluntary, and in service was seen as mutual. And as among the American Iroquois, even the male war chief or chief of hunting was not free to make his own specialist decisions about life and death. He was bound to abide by the decisions of the Council of Women, the mothers of life and death.